Hi, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request, this time for James. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, whatever the case may be, feel free to send in. I will get to as soon as I possibly can. And for those that sent them, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And this time, James wanted me to look at The Odd Couple 2 from 1998. Which I sincerely thank you, not just for the request, but for giving me an opportunity to see this again, because I've always enjoyed this film. I've always thought this film was fun, and I know when it came out, it got obliterated by the critics. Now, I was a bit surprised looking on IMDb. It has a 6.4, which is a lot higher than I thought. Because this always seemed like a movie that was very much hated. Now, before I go on, I really do like the first Odd Couple movie. Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, I think it's rather fun. I would say yes, it's funnier than this movie, but I still think this is a entertaining sequel. But I think the first Odd Couple was a classic. I didn't grow up with the TV show. Well, there was more than one TV show now, but the original show, Jack Klugman, I didn't watch that show much. I didn't grow up with it. So I don't have... There's not much I could say because I didn't watch the show. I know there was a newer one for a little bit with Matthew Perry and Thomas Lennon. I never saw that one either. When I think of The Odd Couple, I think of Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. Now, this is probably one of the longest instances between one film and another, sequel-wise. I'm trying to think. There may be one that's even longer. I don't know if would Blade Runner be it, or... But I know this was a long-ass time. Now, I'm sure the reason this got made is because this was a time period where Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau had a little bit of a renaissance in a way, a little bit of a comeback because of Grumpy Old Men, which I haven't seen that in a while. I do remember quite liking Grumpy Old Men and that being very fun, and that was a surprise hit. And so, oh wow, here's this team that had not been seen together in a long time, since back in the day in the 60s and such. So let's see what other movies we could put them in. So then they were in Grumpy Old Men, they were in this film Out to Sea, and then eventually this. I think this is the last film Jack Lemmon starred in. I mean, he might have done like a little part or a voice in something, but I think this is the last film he starred in. And Walter Matthau, I think he was in that film Hanging Up with Meg Ryan. But yeah, I think this is the last thing he starred in. Not the last movie he was in, but I guess in a weird way it's kind of fitting that the last film they both star in is a film with each other. And the sad thing is, they died not too far apart. Because I think Walter Matthau died in 2000, and then Jack Lemmon in 2001, I think. Like, they died within a year of each other, which I guess it makes it seem more weirder than it is, but I'm like, okay, that's something about this is, okay. And it's a bit sad, like, thinking like this came out in 1998 and within 2-3 years they both be gone. I mean, that's one of the things watching this is just to see these two guys again. Just to see them working together. Just to see them having fun with each other, banter back and forth with each other. And in this case, it's a bit of a road trip. And I still had a lot of fun watching this film. It's directed by Howard Deutsch, who worked with them on Grumpy Old Men, which hell is, I think it's been even longer since I've seen the sequel. Again, I do remember liking it. I do think those two are on Blu-ray, but I don't have those on Blu-ray. Now, Howard Deutsch also did The Replacements, which I know I gotta review that sometime, thanks to Fadi. Thank you so much for that. I remember having fun with that film. And he also did The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. So he's done a couple films I've quite enjoyed. Now, the plot is pretty simple. Walter Matthau is living in Florida in his retirement years. Once in a while, he calls a little baseball game, but other than that, he plays cards with his other old friends. His son, played by Jonathan Silverman, who was in Weekend at Bernie's, he's dead married. And Walter Matthau finds out that that the bride is the daughter of Jack Lemmon's character. So they get back together. They don't go on a trip to the wedding. And all sorts of things screw up, hinder their journey. And for me, fun stuff arises. It's the way these guys play off each other. It's the way they approach some of this dialogue, the way they deliver the dialogue. I got a lot of chuckles out of it, even from the beginning, when Walter Matthau's at the baseball game, and the other guy's talking about the crowd and about this and that, and Walter Matthau says, "What crowd? We're all leaving one car." Or there's a lady passing by, and, "Hey, you want to play the card game? We're short one man." And Matthau's like, "Hey, my buddy's a short man." And they may seem like older, like dad type of jokes, but what can I say? I enjoyed it back then, and nowadays, I'm getting up to that age and to enjoy those type of jokes even more so. And like I said, the way these characters interact with each other, their reactions, like when Walter Matthau finds out, like, whose daughter? Who? Oh my God. Because he knows about, Felix, the easily allergic guy. We first see Jack Lemmon on a plane, sneezing and doing little things with his mouth. Because he can't stand with the perfume or cologne and all that stuff. And again, just the whole journey, with the way they go back and forth, the way they snipe at each other. It's just a lot of fun. Just two great actors that know how to work. They've had the experience. They have that chemistry. And just a lot of dialogue moments I thought was funny. Like Walter Matthau's looking at Jack Lemmon going, "Your ears got bigger, your nose got longer, but you still have that pain in the ass quality." And as they go on, Jack Lemmon does stuff that just pisses him off more and more. To the point Walter Matthau's like, "I want you to write down when you're going to pee, when you're going to fart, when you're going to cry." And again, just the dialogue where Jack Lemmon's complaining about what's in the drink, and it's like, "Calm down, okay, lower your voice. People around here don't know they'll be dead in a week." And the stuff that goes awry is they get a little bit lost. Walter Matthau loses the map. Jack Lemmon wants to get out of his suitcase, but his suitcase got accidentally left at the airport. Jack Lemmon pounding the car, calling him a shithead. Walter Matthau the shithead, and the car rolls back and gets destroyed. And they keep getting arrested. And this guy, is Richard Reel? He's been in a lot of stuff, that actor. He was in the first Hatchet film. I think he's... When you have the big group in Hatchet doing the tour, I think he's the first guy to get killed and chopped in half by... He's the older guy chopped in half by Victor Crowley in Hatchet. Been a lot of other stuff. And he just seemed to get more and more upset that these guys keep getting arrested and coming to him. It's like, what are you guys in here for now? And again, just the way they snipe back to each other. Like Walter Matthau's like, "Listen, I know I'm old, but I could spit you to death." Other people I recognize, Gene Smart, who I believe was on, was it Knots Landing? Which I've seen that since I was a kid. She's in here as like one of two girls trying to do their version of the Pigeon Sisters from the first, although not nearly as memorable. Like, remember just drunk bitches at a bar trying to pick up on these old guys. Uh, Bernard Hughes, he was the grandpa in The Lost Boys. He's the guy who says at the end, something about, that's the thing about Santa Carla, all the damn vampires. He's in this as a guy that offers them a ride in the next morning. And just, a lot of the humor just worked for me. One of my favorite bits is during the next day when they're driving, and Bernard, he's just driving so slow to a point that even people running are going past them. And just see how Jack and Walter just be more and more frustrated and more like, what is going on here? So eventually the guy stops driving and then he keels over. And Jack Lemmon thought, oh, he fell asleep. But then realized that the guy died. And then he goes, well, he went quick. And then Walter's like, you called driving 12 miles an hour quick? And so it's either that or they tried getting on a bus, but Rex Lynn, who was in Cliffhanger, and his buddy, they grabbed those guys because they were going out with those girls at the bar, but then they realized what's going on and they just stopped by the cops again. Like I said, it depends how you feel about these two guys. For me, who's a big fan of these guys, it was great to see them again one more time working together. To me, still having that spark, still having that chemistry. And they still have quite a few funny lines going back and forth with each other. Like when they threaten each other, and one that goes, how about you back up before I sneeze your brains into a tiny Kleenex? They tried to throw in some little, not drama, but a little bit of a hiccup at the end of the film where Jonathan Silverman is missing. Walter Matthau finds him. The guy has doubts of the wedding. Walter Matthau's like, okay, fine, we'll stop the wedding. And then Jonathan's like, no, still, wait, hold it. No, you should stop. You're right. Yeah, if you have doubts, you should stop. No, I love her. Yeah, now. Yeah, you love her now, but what about later? What about, years from now? He's like, no, I love her. Damn it, I'm going to do it. And Walter Matthau's like, good. I was trying to see how long. I was a bit tired of being an asshole. Jack Lemmon seems like he's going to deal with this other lady, and things are going to work out for him. Their kids get married to each other. They go back to their respective places. Walter Matthau's relaxing. He gets a knock on the door. He's getting ready to play cards with his friends. And there's Jack Lemmon. And the girl didn't work out. He's like, can I stay here for a bit and find a new place? Walter Matthau's like, well, it didn't work out before. He says no. Sees how sad Jack Lemmon is. Okay, no, I didn't say no. I didn't say go. I said, fine, we'll give it a try for a few weeks. I love one of the last lines Walter Matthau says, where they're playing the cards, and he's like, hey, let me toast that sandwich for you, and all this other stuff, and Walter Matthau's like, this is the biggest, goddamnedest deja vu anybody's ever had. And in a weird way, I kind of... I know this don't sound dumb, but bear with me. This, to me, for these characters, is kind of the most heartwarming way for it to end. And that's why I had a big smile on my face, because I liked the first film. Obviously, they were going to drive each other insane. But now that they're in their golden years, now that they don't really have much time left, as, you know, inevitably we all going to be in that situation. Even Jack Lemmon was saying, "Oh, there must be some like reason that we're going through this journey." He says like an off the cuff way. The fact that it kind of ends up with them living together, at least for a bit, and then more likely he's going to get a place nearby, and in a weird way, there'll be some fights and some stressful moments, but in a weird way, rekindled their friendship. Just to mention that they had not seen each other in 17 years. Like, in a way, if this is how they spend their golden years, is with each other, something about that is a bit heartwarming to me. And I don't know. Just something about that made me smile. It's not kind of a sad way, because again, this was obviously the last film they did together. Like I mentioned before, it's the last film they starred in. And I miss these guys. They were so talented. Equally talented, each one. Who had their own respective single successful careers. Walter Matthau, he was in, what was that, Dennis the Menace. He was in The Take Impel 1, 2, 3, bit in other films. And then Jack Lemmon, there was the China Syndrome. There was the remake of 12 Angry Men. The, what was that, Glenn Ross. I think they both were in JFK. But I mean, again, it was great to. This really does make me want to revisit the Grumpy and Grumpier Old Men movies. I have to see. I actually remember that being the one I liked the least out of their newer films they did together. But I mean, it's there. I didn't hate the film. It's there. But I do remember liking this and the Grumpy movies more. But yeah, this film did nothing. It bombed at the box office. The critics hated it. I kind of went, I don't think it's that bad. I did not think it was nearly as bad as people make it out to be. I guess, 6.4, I guess I'm not the only one that feels that way, but. So yeah, I would feel it's a tad underrated. I do. I would feel it's a tad underrated, and had enough fun and chuckles that made the pace very easy to watch, and it was great to see these guys again. And revisiting this, because again, it'd been a while since I'd seen this, but yeah, a lot of fun. Man, I have fun with this movie. And again, I miss these guys. So thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye for now.